All right. Welcome back, everybody.
Hello.
It is kind of late. Had long days, but we're still here to entertain you.
I don't have a cool drink like Bridget. I just have water.
Oh, it's just seltzer.
Oh, mine's seltzer too.
Oh, I love seltzer.
Me
I
too.
can't believe there are people out there that don't.
Spicy water. I used to not like it, but then I
You
drank it
changed your
enough
ways.
until I liked it. Yeah.
Seems valid. Seems fair. All right. Let's hop in with our questions. First one we've got on the docket for today. If you chew ice, are you eating or drinking? I don't know. I've never thought about it.
I chew a lot of ice.
I am an ice cruncher. Love the crunch.
Um, and when I'm thinking about it now, I refer to it as I'm eating ice.
Yeah, same. So do
I'm
I.
drinking ice, but at the end of the day,
I mean, you are technically consuming water.
you are, but like maybe there's a transitional point because you're not swallowing whole chunks for the most
Yeah.
part, maybe like tiny ones, but
I don't know. I think you're eating, because I would say, like, eating ice.
it is a solid.
This is true.
But I wouldn't argue with you if you say you're drinking it. Actually, no, but there's some chewing going on.
Yeah, I wouldn't say, like, I'm drinking ice. That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you're eating if you're crunching some ice. Even though it is technically water, you are technically well, you're not consuming a liquid. You're consuming something that's normally a liquid at room
Well,
temperature.
I feel like you are consuming a liquid, but you're eating ice. You're turning it into a liquid. You're
I mean, yeah,
liquefying the ice.
I mean, yeah, but you're consuming it in solid form.
But not all the way. Like,
I mean, yeah, it melts a little when it like comes in contact with you, but it's still mostly a solid because you
yeah.
have to bite it. I don't know. I say eating.
I guess I'll go with eating as well.
All right, seems fair. Moving on. Is the Kool-Aid Man the pitcher or the Kool-Aid inside the pitcher?
So, is he the liquid or is he
The
the
glass
glass
container
and
that holds
everything?
the liquid.
I think he's everything. Like, the juice, that's his innards. Like, we can just
Ew.
see his organs.
Ew, I don't like that.
I mean, it's part of him.
I don't
I'd
know, but
say
like,
he's the whole thing. Because the glass is the part that's talking, really.
yeah, but you
Like,
don't know that the glass is clear.
all right, well, so you think the face is inside the juice and the glass is just holding his body? Like him?
I mean, yeah. I think. I don't know. I don't know what I think. This is a weird question. I don't know where I found it.
Um, hmm. I think he's the whole person.
I mean,
What
I
do you think
guess,
happens
but
when you separate him? Like when you pour him out,
I
does he
don't
like
know.
die?
I don't know. But
What if
also,
he
if the Kool-Aid is like his internal workings, why would you just have that shit like uncovered and able to be poured out? Like that doesn't seem
yeah.
evolutionarily advantageous.
He
That
must
seems
like
dangerous.
be a homebody, like to prevent like spillage and
But
evaporation,
he'd be smashing through
perhaps.
walls.
True. Oh
And
yeah.
also if
Oh
the
yeah. Isn't that?
oh yeah, but
I
also and
didn't even realize
if
that.
but and like he's smashing through walls, so what if like a brick falls into the pitcher top? Like what does that mean? What happens?
I think an even more important question is how does this man not break? Like
Yeah.
he's crashing through bricks and buildings and stuff. That must
I
be like
don't
what kind of
know.
glass is that? Bulletproof glass?
Maybe the Kool-Aid Man is made out of bulletproof glass.
I
That's a
mean,
good one. I like that.
at some point, I feel like the authorities would have had to take over. Like, all right, we got this thing crashing through our buildings. Like, did we try like taking him down? if he's made of bulletproof glass, then they're not getting
Wait,
very
so would they
far.
be taking the Kool-Aid Man down just for, like, destruction of property?
Maybe. I mean,
Because that's
vandalism,
excessive.
well, how many buildings have we seen him gone through? Like,
I don't know. I
quite
feel
a
like the
few.
Kool-Aid commercials were more of a thing in, like, the 90s and the early 2000s, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I can't recall the last time I've seen one. And
Or
then
maybe
again,
that's
I
just
don't
because I'm an adult and don't watch, like, Cartoon Network anymore.
just watch Netflix.
Yeah.
Oh, I still watch Cartoon Network
No, I mean, like,
sometimes.
I love a good cartoon, but I'm not, like,
Yeah.
sitting down in front of a TV
Mm-hmm.
that has advertisements anymore, even when I am watching,
Mm-hmm.
like, stuff that's, like, still good, but
Yeah.
technically, like, children's programming.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming it was more of a thing in the 90s and early 2000s, because, I mean, when's the last time you heard of that?
I don't know.
So many questions raised by the Kool-Aid Man.
What happens when you freeze him and eat him? Are you chewing or drinking the Kool-Aid Man?
Sometimes I would freeze, like, Capri Suns.
Mm.
And then you get, like, if you leave it in for the right amount of time, you get, like, an instant icy.
Ooh, yeah, you gotta time that though. Like, just science.
There was a science to it, but it was delicious. Yeah, I have no idea what the Kool-Aid Man is. Neither answer feels right, but
It's an enigma.
I don't know, I think maybe he's the Kool-Aid?
I'd say he's the whole thing. What if he's just the glass and like the juice inside? Like that's a front. That's not real. What if he's saying, I'm going to trick everyone, pour out my Kool-Aid innards and pour in like Capri Sun instead. I will fool everyone into thinking this
But
is
what does he
Kool-Aid.
gain from that?
Knowing he could pull it off. I don't know.
Okay, I mean, I guess.
I don't really know.
I don't know, I think maybe he's the Kool-Aid, but I don't like this question either way. And I don't know where I found it or why I put it in the document for potential use. Probably because I didn't know the discussion was going to be as mentally upsetting as it is until we started having it.
I like this question. I never thought about it either, but it's a good question.
That's fair. Yeah, I have no idea. Remember the Capri Sun commercials where it was like, respect the pouch?
Respect
it!
pouch. Respect it! Respect the pouch!
That sound is on a loop in my brain, like, often. Like, whenever I would be taking a test, that's all that was running through here. Head empty.
Where's my test material? All I can remember is respect the pouch.
Oh, man.
I love
the
those
commercials for,
commercials.
like, any kind of, like, snacks or stuff that were, like, aimed at kids were weird as hell.
I know, but they were so good. Like
You
I
remember
love
the
those.
Gushers ones?
Vaguely.
Where, like, your head would turn into a fruit?
Oh, yeah, I do now. Yep.
Why were they so
swell.
weird? Why were they so weird?
I don't know.
It's one of those things, like, I never realized how strange it was until, like, especially because of, like, the rise of streaming, like,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen ads in, like, a long time, and whenever I see a commercial, I'm like, this
Skip
is
them.
so, like, weird. Like, just watching an advertisement, it's always so strange.
Mm-hmm. Well, I feel like they try to make them strange to get them to be memorable.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want some boring ass. Now I'm thinking of cereal commercials like Lucky Charms and Trix. But, like, you don't want some, here's your Raisin Bran. It's really good for you. You should buy some at your store.
I also feel like commercials for a lot of things, like, like Lucky Charms and Tricks and whatever, are especially burned into my head, because, like,
mm-hmm.
again, just, like, the whole childhood thing. Like,
You know what? You know what would grind my gears when I was young?
do tell.
The Tricks commercial. It was Tricks are for kids, but I always remember thinking, like, what if these poor adults want some? Like, is it not allowed? Like, that is ageist.
That's fair. I never really considered it, because we never bought Tricks at my house.
I mean, I didn't buy them either, but I remember seeing the commercials, like, informing me, like, wait, hold up. Tricks are for kids. How old are you? Like,
Let me see some ID. Yeah, no. Yeah, I guess I never thought about it that deeply when I was a child, or I
bothered me.
Nothing ever registered. Never thought about it. But good to know. Alright. What else have we got? Just blowing through questions once again. Oh, here's one that's kind of topical. Is Borat / like Sacha Baron Cohen in general, is that funny or just offensive? I have mixed feelings about like Borat specifically. Because
do tell.
Like there's some stuff in there, like there's a lot of stuff that's definitely like punching down. And like I know that the intent is satire, but like with a lot of satire you have to have a clear intent to like not be making fun of the, you know, structures of power, not the oppressed.
Like this is clearly a joke.
Yeah. But there are also, like, because I saw the first movie, like, a while after it came out, because I was way too young when it first did, but, like, there are moments in that movie that are just so funny. Like, my exact sense of humor is, like, pronouncing things wrong, or, like, saying things grammatically wrong, so, like, hello, nice to meet you. Like, that makes me laugh, because I don't know, I'm simple. I'm a simple woman when it comes to what I find funny. And also things like, there's a screenshot from there, where he's like, what kind of dog is this? And someone else just goes, this is a tortoise. Like, that's so funny to me. And I also think that there are these moments where, like, all, like, Sacha Baron Cohen as, like, you know, kind of the mastermind behind the whole thing where he's, like, tricking people. All he does is set the stage and then just let, like, really
people's
bigoted
reactions.
Then let, like, really bigoted people make fools of themselves by agreeing with, like, you know, these, like, stupid, like, racist things that he's kind of, like, that him as the character is, like, spouting off. Or, like, not even when he's, like, saying something racist and then, like, or, like, saying something controversial and, like, getting, you know, people to either agree or disagree with him. When all he does is, like, just let whatever is coming out of, like, especially, like, really racist conservatives' mouth, like, he doesn't do anything, he doesn't say anything, he just sort of, like, lets them say it on camera. So, like, that, I think, is a little bit genius, where he just sort of sets it up and then lets them dig themselves their own grave. But yeah, I don't know, I have mixed feelings, because there's definitely moments of, like, one, generally being kind of gross, and two, like, really punching down when it comes to certain jokes. But some of it is also exactly my sense of humor.
Yeah, there are parts of that where I'm just definitely laughing and, you know, this is great, but then there's a flip side of, oh wait, this is
very much not okay.
Yes. And when was okay, they're making a second one?
The second one, like, just started streaming.
Oh, okay.
And I know, like, there was that whole thing where, like, they, with Rudy Giuliani, which is hilarious. Like, see, that's the thing I like. He just sets the stage and then lets them walk into a trap. And that, I think, is kind of genius.
When did the first one come out?
Oh, God, maybe 2006?
Because I'm thinking if that was... and now I haven't seen the second one. Like, perhaps
I haven't seen the second one
a lot of those jokes are altered now, and, like, this stuff that would fly back then, perhaps not as much. I really can't tell.
Yeah, and I know that, like, Borat specifically was also a character that, like, Sacha Baron Cohen used to do, like, on, I think it was a TV show before they actually made a movie out of it. And I saw some clips from the TV show, and a lot of it, there was a huge part of it in the TV show specifically that was just very innocently, like, seeing how much, like, you know, seeing how far they could go with people thinking that this guy is real. Like, he went to some, like, cricket club or whatever, and, like, there was a couple moments where, like, he's really not saying anything offensive. He's just being, like, making people over-explain things and seeing how patient they'll be with him. And that, I think, is really genuinely funny. So, yeah.
I feel like there's also a difference between, like, what's acceptable on television versus movies. Like, because on TV, you gotta, you know, maybe not go a
little bit cleaner.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah. And I haven't seen the second one yet. I'm sure I will at some point, just because, you know, it's kind of relevant.
What streaming service is
Prime, I think.
Prime?
I don't know. Well, my mom has a Prime subscription, so not gonna cost me anything. But yeah, I have mixed feelings. I think there are times when he really, really nailed, like, Borat specifically really kind of, like, is really smart versus, like, kind of just, like, stupid and being offensive for the sake of, like, shock value. I do think Sacha Baron Cohen is low-key a genius for coming up with all these, you know, kind of different scenarios and, like, this sort of idea of, like, mockumentary. Not, like, that he invented mockumentary comedy, but, like, this sort of specific... just the specific thing that, like, Borat is. I think that's very, like, original. And also he seems like a really cool dude. Like, he doesn't do a ton of, like, out-of-character interviews, but he's, like, super, like, educated and well-spoken and, like, kind of not the person you would expect a lot of this really, like, crass, like, edgy humor
like,
from. It's
almost like witty humor in a sense, the way he does it. Like, I don't like when comedy's, like, in your face, like, stupid. Like,
yeah.
Like, just, all right, like, over the top, just, like, this guy or person is, like, it's just stupid humor. But when it's more, like, witty and well written, and you have to, I don't know.
Yeah, and not everything obviously not everything in Borat is well written. There's a lot of very lowbrow humor, but I do think there are these moments of intelligence where it's kind of like, the joke isn't that, oh, look at this man playing a stupid foreigner. It's more like, look at these people believing that this is what, you know, a foreigner is, that this is a real person who acts this way. And on that level, I think there is a degree of kind of smart humor to it, but I also think sometimes that gets lost, and that makes it kind of dicey, because not everyone is thinking, like, oh, people, like, you know, some types of, like, you know,
clearly this is a joke, but
yeah, people aren't thinking, like,
oh,
the
this
joke
is a good impersonation. Like,
yeah, people are thinking, like, haha, he's acting like a stupid foreign person, not the joke is that
like,
people
that
are
is
actually,
not the intent.
the joke is that people believe.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. Witty humor, you have to have, like, that higher level of, like, consciousness. Like, this is clearly satire.
That's where I think the problems come in. The intent sometimes is really unclear, so it winds up backfiring. So I don't know. I would say it depends on exactly kind of like what kind of bits, what clips, what parts of the movie. I think there are some parts of, like, Borat and the character of the movie that are absolutely hilarious and low-key genius. Other parts I'm like, ooh, no thanks. So that's my take. All right. Anything else to say before we move on?
No, actually, I'm, like, pretty with you on that one.
Seems fair. If a bar of soap falls on the floor, is the soap dirty or is the floor clean? I think it depends on the condition.
How dirty is my floor?
Yeah, that the soap returns in. Because if you drop it on just, like, a tile floor and nothing happens, yeah, maybe the floor is clean now. But if you, like, drop it, like, in some dirt and it, like, comes away with a bunch of stuff on it, the soap is now dirty.
Yeah, I mean, either way, I'd rinse off the soap, whether I just clean my floor and it dropped or my floors are dirty. But, I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it, like, if a bar of soap dropped on my floor, that's not really stuff I would use to clean my floors. That cleans, like, my body, but it just makes my floor slimy and gross. So I'd probably clean it again with something else.
This is true.
At the end of the day, I'd say it dirties your floor.
Wait, what?
Wait, what was the question?
Dropping soap on the floor makes the floor... No, the question is the soap dirty or is the floor now clean?
Oh, the soap's dirty. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. I think in most cases, especially if you're, like, you're picking it up and it's got, like, you know, some cat hair and stuff on it or whatever, or, like, whatever was on your floor, the soap is probably dirty.
Yeah, I was, like, my floors, like, they're good enough, but, like, I wouldn't eat off them, so yeah, they're probably dirty.
Because, like, even in the bathroom, like, unless I'm, like, you know, like, dropping the soap in the shower is, you know, that doesn't matter, that, whatever. But if I'm dropping the soap, like, on my bathroom floor, for the most part, like, we have, like, you know, bath mats and little, like, area rugs, like, in front of our sink and stuff. And, like, if I drop soap on a rug, it's going to pick up a bunch of, like, lint and stuff. So I'd say the soap is dirty.
Yeah.
In most circumstances.
Definitely depends on the surface as well. Like, it'll probably be dirtier if you drop it on a bath mat, whereas if you're dropping it on a tile floor, hopefully that's cleaner.
A tile floor, I could see the argument that the floor is now clean.
I still wouldn't say so.
I wouldn't say so, but there I could see the argument more.
Maybe more so, but it's not like you're using bars of soap to clean your floor, like your tile floors.
This is true.
You're using, like, I don't know, Ajax.
I mean, yeah, but I mean,
whatever you
soap
use
does still kill germs.
Yeah.
So, even if it's not the exact product you would use, technically. So I could see how that argument could be made for, like, a tile floor or some kind of just, like, smooth surface without, like, a bunch of dirt on it.
But your soap's definitely dirty.
Yeah, I would agree I would agree in pretty much most situations. I will allow the other argument to be made, but I think personally I would say most of the time the soap is going to be dirty if you drop it.
That's a funny question.
Yeah.
They're good tonight. I never thought about a lot of these.
I know. I just Google, like, you know, what are, like, stupid, funny debates and, like, any kind of sort of variations on those terms, like dumb debate topics, and these are the things that pop up. Alright, we can decide if we want to do this one later. Let's go with this one for now. Is ASMR relaxing or creepy?
Alright, let's explain first to our
so for anyone who doesn't know,
viewers.
ASMR is kind of like this, it's not, like, super scientifically backed up yet, but it's a very widely observed phenomenon, and the acronym stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response, and it's basically that certain types of sounds can trigger, like, kind of like a really relaxing, like, tingling sensation for some types of people, and for a lot of people, like, it helps you sleep. So, but for people who don't experience ASMR, like, who don't have any kind of reaction to whatever kind of, you know, stimuli, sometimes the videos that people make intending to trigger this response kind of just come off as creepy. Because it's a lot of, like, whispering and, like, very gently, like, tapping on things and, like,
chewing.
Quiet sound. Okay, the mukbang ones are disgusting.
Those are, like, the chewing ones, right?
I cannot stand them. They're gross.
I hate listening to people eat. Like, it sounds like their mouths are open.
The only time eating sounds are acceptable is when it's my doggy crunching on some apple slices, because that's really cute.
That is cute, and that's acceptable.
Mukbang ASMRs are disgusting. I hate them so much. But otherwise, oh my god, ASMR knocks me out.
Really?
It knocks me right out. I get it so strongly. I experience it so strongly, like tapping and, like, crinkling noises and, like, people, like, speaking really softly and, like, gently. Oh my god, it's so nice. It's so nice. I listen to it almost every night.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I did not know that.
It relaxes me so much.
I do not enjoy it.
So you think it's creepy?
Not creepy, but it's just nothing I want to listen to. I like sometimes when they have the visuals, or maybe I'm thinking, is this something else, like cutting, like, the sand?
No, that's ASMR.
Okay, I like watching it.
Yeah, well, okay, well then you could be one of the people who, like, has, like, some people, like, they call them triggers, like, different, like, you know, things to provoke the response. So, like, you could be a person who really responds to visual triggers. Well, I could be more of a sound person.
I guess, but even watching it, I'll watch it for a little. You know, like, oh, that's cool, but I'm not, like, going out of my way to find it. Like, if it pops up on my Instagram feed, sure, maybe
I,
like,
I'll actively seek it out and will,
stare
at my computer. Like, if it's, like, a soap cutting video, I will watch, I will spend 40 minutes in a trance. Just, like, and, like, almost falling asleep at my desk. It knocks me out. I
will say I have nothing against it. If it relaxes you, or you just like watching or listening to it. I'm like, sure, whatever. But for me, it doesn't do anything. I wouldn't say I'm against it or it's creepy.
Oh my god, my sister once, this is why I like lock my door now when my sister's home, because she barges into my room and expects me to entertain her like a little court jester when she's bored. But she's at school now, so I don't have that problem. But when she's home, I lock my door now because one time I was watching an Avatar The Last Airbender themed ASMR roleplay, and she walked into my room and saw what I was doing, and just she was laughing so hard that tears were rolling down her face.
How do they even have a theme like that? Like, what were they doing in that?
They're just being Prince Zuko, talking about tea.
Okay.
It was really nice. Yeah, oh my god, no. And there's like so many like really like niche role plays too. It's like a bigger community than a lot of people think who kind of like aren't already like plugged into that.
Yeah, I'm on the outskirts of the community, but
oh, here's
you
some
know, you guys
here's some ASMR as I refill my seltzer. Enjoy.
I'm tired now. No, I'm just kidding.
But no, I say very much not creepy. I'm super relaxed by it. It works
Not
very
creepy,
well on me.
but not that enjoyable either.
Okay, valid. I'll allow
But
it. The worst thing though is when people are like, "Oh, like it's a fetish." I'm like,
yeah,
or they like try to
that
make
was
it
my
into
next
something.
question.
No, like
Because people said, I was fighting with someone once about they were saying, "Oh yeah, it's actually like sexual." I'm like, how is this like what?
No.
Listening to people chew or like cut soap or
it's literally
what?
not. I mean, like you can kind of make anything like a part of like I don't know, like intimacy or whatever.
I mean, yeah, I guess
Like if you want,
yeah,
but it's not inherently sexual.
That's not the intent.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, that bothers me a lot. 'Cause I'm like, no. All right. So I don't know. Do we want to do this one? It's rather topical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we're filming this right now on Monday night. We usually record on Tuesdays, but Maddie's got a new job.
It will be taking place in my room, which I'm not happy about. It's remote.
But yeah, she's starting tomorrow, so we can't film tomorrow, which is also Election Day. So either way, this episode was going to be coming out after Election Day to begin with. So whether or not we have a winner by the time this episode is airing, we're going to do this anyway.
We don't know. We can't see the future, but
God, I wish I could.
Oh.
So the question is, would Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob SquarePants have voted for Trump? Either in the election that will have just happened when you're watching this or in the initial 2016 election. It kind of doesn't matter.
I'd say a big fat yes.
Okay, so that's what I initially thought. But the post, it was like a Tumblr post that I'm taking this question from, and I will link it below because there's quite a bit of follow-up to it. Changed my mind.
Do tell.
So here's what we got. I gotta open up the post on my phone here. Hold up.
For those of you who either don't watch SpongeBob, or I don't know why you wouldn't, or just don't remember, Mr. Krabs loves money, and he's the owner of the Krusty Krab, the restaurant there in Bikini Bottom where they all live, and he's a businessman.
That was such a succinct explanation. I love it.
Thank you.
So the initial post, and I'm not going to bother to read out all the names because there's a lot and some of them are very long, was Sandy Cheeks would have voted Trump, that evil southern rat-ass bitch. Response to the original post, first comment, Sandy Cheeks is a pro-science feminist who lives in a foreign land that she respects the customs of, and she would be offended you would even accuse her of this, which I 100% agree with.
Me too.
And also, quick side note, if you've seen the SpongeBob SquarePants musical, when Broadway was still a thing, this is even more topical because that show did such a great job of like addressing like racism and xenophobia in a way that like kids are gonna understand. That show was amazing. I loved it so much. I saw it twice on Broadway. Anyway,
My sister saw it.
So good. So then we get to this point. Mr. Krabs would have voted Trump. So, and then there's another comment of somebody agreeing with the person who said that Mr. Krabs would have voted Trump. But then somebody debunks this, which I also agree with, and this is what changed my mind. Mr. Krabs would not have voted for Trump because Mr. Krabs earned most of his money through hard work and being a cheapskate and get-rich-quick schemes, but those still require some effort on his part. Whereas Trump inherited most of his wealth and thinks $1 million is a small loan, Mr. Krabs would consider him an insult to richness for which he could not stand. I agree with this.
All right. I agree with parts of that, especially that last line about, is it insult to richness? And yeah, Mr. Krabs built his restaurant and whatnot, but he exploits the labor of SpongeBob and Squidward on a daily basis.
Okay, I mean, he does, but you can't...
Oh, no, you finish first.
There's a certain amount of money, like, you can't make $1 billion without exploiting the labor of the working class. Like, but that's not what we're debating.
SpongeBob's soul for 62 cents. Who does that?
I think that's literally in this post. How did you...
I did not read the post. I just know SpongeBob so well. Like
I know SpongeBob pretty well, too. I'm impressed.
I watched a lot of cartoons. Do you see the cartoons behind my wall?
I do.
There's Cosmo.
I see quite a bit.
So, yeah.
Also, here's another point. Krabs would never respect a guy who bankrupted himself 4 times.
True. This is true. He doesn't respect Plankton across the street, and he has no customers.
This is true.
And also, Plankton's evil. But
according to this post, Plankton would not have voted Trump either.
What's the reasoning? Does it say?
The reasoning for this is that he doesn't want competition in taking over the world. The general conclusion of this is that nobody in the SpongeBob universe would have voted for Trump except Bubble Bass and Squilliam Fancy Son.
Oh. I agree with Squilliam, but I really do think Mr. Krabs would vote for Trump.
I do not. I agree with the analysis. And I'm, like, looking through the rest of this post to, like, see if there's any other... Yeah, and also, as much as Mr. Krabs is a cheapskate and definitely exploits the labor of SpongeBob and Squidward, SpongeBob does own a home.
Yeah.
So there's gotta be some form of decent minimum wage going on in Bikini Bottom.
Mm.
And so does Squidward.
What if there are no wages? Like, Patrick lives under a rock. That was probably there and he just found it. And SpongeBob lives in a pineapple. Like, what if that just floated down from land and he just made a home out of it? Like, what if they all just made their homes and there's no...
Yeah. However...
I guess he'll have to afford groceries and stuff.
And also, like, Squidward has some hobbies that are pretty expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you know, art supplies isn't cheap. And, like, a clarinet is not a cheap instrument. So I feel like the minimum wage in Bikini Bottom has to at least be, like, decent. Has to be okay.
What if it's better than here?
It probably
I'm moving.
Is. It probably is. I would honestly love to live in Bikini Bottom. It sounds great. Yeah, the reasoning here at the bottom, Bubble Bass would vote for Donald Trump because Bubble Bass is an arrogant, quote, an arrogant, self-entitled prick who enjoys deceiving others just for the sake of humiliating them and would approve of such a person. And Squilliam would also vote for him because he's a wealthy narcissist.
Mm-hmm.
And also, some fun additions to this. Squidward is a full-time minimum wage retail worker who is pro-union and anti-capitalist, and is also a firm supporter and member of the fine arts community. He would actively vote against Trump, defeatist or not, and you can't convince me otherwise. Which I agree with.
I agree with that.
Yeah, so...
I can't be swayed on Mr. Krabs, though.
No? Okay.
No, because he loves money too much, and any person who says, like, he'll save you money, I feel like money's his number one love. He'll buy into that.
Do you think Mr. Krabs could have been deceived into voting for him the first time, but then when he saw the actual economic impact, he was like, hell no.
Actually, that's an excellent point. I do agree, because maybe his restaurant had to reduce like seating to 50%, or he lost income because of like closures and people not going out as much. So, you know, that's a very valid point. And maybe he'll vote for Biden tomorrow, unless he did early voting. Oh.
What would coronavirus be underwater?
Does it travel underwater? That was my next question.
Do I look like I know? I have no idea. I'm trying to think of other ways that our current situation could be made analogous to Bikini Bottom.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no. I don't think he would have voted for him in the first place.
Maybe the SUDS is coronavirus.
The SUDS.
That was for those of you who don't know. The SUDS was I don't know, like an illness that SpongeBob came down with once, and he. But wasn't
it Sponge specific?
Oh, was it?
Because remember at the end of the episode, he's like, you get the sponge treatment, and it's, like, really nice, but then Patrick sees that he gets a lollipop. He's like, oh, hey, Doc, I got the suds too. But then he hates it, because he's, like, getting scraped on a cactus and everything.
Yeah, I think you're right. It might be only sponges.
That might be sponge-specific. I know way too much about SpongeBob.
Listen, that was on repeat on my TV, and now it's on repeat in my head.
That
forever.
show, like, the first 4 seasons of that show, plus the first movie, they live, like...
rent-free.
You show me any screenshot of any of the first 4 seasons of SpongeBob SquarePants, or from the movie, I know exactly, like, how every single word, like, the exact intonations of how anything was said. It's crazy how much of SpongeBob is just etched into my mind.
I don't understand how people our age have not seen it.
I had a roommate who grew up with no cable TV. Which, like, you know, fine, not her fault. Yes. But she was like, no, everyone who likes SpongeBob is wrong. It's just straight up not funny. I'm like, yeah, the entire, like, you know,
I think
90s kid population, we're all wrong. You're the one right person.
You're the correct one. I can understand not watching it if you don't have access to it.
Yeah,
but
and
those who come out and say who don't like it, that is what.
Yeah, that's weird. And I understand, like, it not having the nostalgia factor for you. But oh my god, it's so fun. Like, even now, like, the first 4 seasons, absolutely golden. Because there were so many jokes that flew over my head as a kid, to the point where, like, I still love watching those, like, first 4 seasons of SpongeBob. It's so funny. Like, there are episodes that genuinely make me laugh out loud. I love that show so much. I literally have the first season on DVD on my shelf right over there.
I think I have it on tape.
Nice!
I have no VCR anymore, though, so...
Oh, there's a couple movies I have on VCR that I refuse... on VHS tapes that I refuse to get rid of for sentimental reasons.
Yeah, I haven't gotten rid of them.
I have a VHS copy of The Nightmare Before Christmas. That's not going anywhere. A box set of the original Star Wars trilogy. Never going anywhere. I have a VHS copy of Free Willy.
Oh my god.
That I will never get rid of, ever. I love that movie so much. That movie's iconic. Have you ever seen it?
You know, I haven't seen it recently, so I really... It didn't do it for me when I did see it.
I love that movie so much as a kid. And I know it's, like, so corny. Oh my god. Masterpiece. Iconic. I love it so much. How are we doing on time? Oh yeah, we got a while. Let's see. I think that, unless we have anything else to say on the front of...
Can you think of a character at all who would vote for Trump? Like,
well, we
in
got Bubbled
any...
Ass.
Mm-hmm.
Squilliam. Are we talking about in any other piece of media or SpongeBob specific?
No, like any show or like movie or...
Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
Little child murdering ass bitch. He definitely would have voted Trump.
I saw, I think this was a post recently about would these characters vote for Trump, and it was going through all of them. I'm not sure if Mr. Krabs is on the list.
Was Anakin on there?
Maybe. I don't remember. All I remember was Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec, which... Did you watch that so much, or do you know the character?
I know Ron Swanson, and honestly, I don't know. Maybe.
He's very limited. For those who don't know, he's very, like, anti-limited government, you know, make your own investments. So, I could see on that side, like, the conservative part of that.
But he's also kind of like a live in a one-man log cabin type dude.
Yes.
So I really don't see him agreeing with somebody who thinks, like, a gold toilet is the height of luxury.
Mm-hmm. And also, just, he has good morals, which Trump does not.
Which are absolutely not
he would not...
in this administration.
He would not agree on that score, so I don't think he'd be a Trump supporter.
I like it. Yeah, no, I definitely think Anakin would be swayed by the whole, like, you know, the nationalism, I think, would get him.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, let's be real, Anakin's decline into, like, fascist ideology went fast. Are you familiar with Star Wars at all?
Kinda. I'm not the person to ask.
That's entirely valid, and I don't have time to break down 6 movies. I'm trying to think of other characters, though, now that we're on this subject. And, like, I haven't watched things recently. Like, I haven't watched a lot of new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm, like, trying to go back through my head. And, like,
I feel like I've been watching a lot of old TV shows recently.
Yeah. We love a good quarantine regression. Guess who is reading Sherlock fan fiction again in the year of our Lord 2020?
Oh my goodness. That was like 2012 Tumblr.
Yeah.
Flashbacks.
Okay, here's the thing. From, like, a writing, acting, cinematography standpoint, that show honestly was pretty good. It was just way overhyped by horny 15-year-olds.
Who would ship Sherlock and
John. Yeah, I wasn't even I was on Tumblr during that time, but I was not one of the people shipping Sherlock and John. Not that that's bad.
I just remember that, like...
Oh yeah, no, that was a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, there were moments where that show was a little queerbaity. Like, nowhere near as bad as Supernatural. That was a disaster. But yeah, I saw it. I wasn't there for it, but I saw it. But yeah, no, so that's one of my fun quarantine regressions is reading fanfiction that I used to read back in, like, 2012. Oh, we love it. But no.
Back to the better times.
Back to better times. Jerry Smith from Rick and Morty.
You think he would vote for him?
Absolutely.
Well, he is easily swayed.
Absolutely.
Which is a lot of his voter base.
Stupid. Jerry, he's just such a weak, spineless little character. I love Rick and Morty so much. Although I gotta say, I do get annoyed by, like, the kind of dude bros that are like, yeah, Rick is awesome. I'm like, that's not the point of the show, buddy!
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, Jerry Smith 100% would have voted Trump. Such a spineless character. Like, I feel like it's characters like that. Now I'm trying to think of, like, people that are like Jerry in other shows. Like, any kind of just, like, gullible, like, slimy, weak-ass character.
I'm thinking about SpongeBob again, and Patrick. If you told him to do something, he would just do it, I feel like.
In the new episodes where where the show, period, is bad, yes. In the original ones, probably not.
But he was.
But he had those moments of clarity. Like,
All
you know,
right.
in the Pinky episode where he
Pinky's
goes
up.
Pinky's up, where SpongeBob's like trying to explain Sandy's helmet to him, and he goes, "Do you mean she puts on airs? That's just fancy talk." Like, that's not an unintelligent sentence.
Like, thought processes were an attempt
Yeah.
there.
So, in current SpongeBob now that is bad, yes. In the actual good SpongeBob from, like, the 90s and early 2000s, no.
I see your point.
Thank you, I try. Although I'm trying to think of, again, someone not from just SpongeBob. I don't even know, like, I try to think, like, what is a piece of media that I have consumed recently? And nothing.
Why is nothing coming
head
up?
empty.
Why does that happen when someone asks, "What's your favorite book or movie?" Or like,
I couldn't tell you. I forget every single book I've ever read in my life.
Well, I've never read before, so
yeah,
nothing.
I am actually illiterate.
I've never seen anything, so
yeah, actually, I'm illiterate, so no. And now I'm like looking at my shelf of movies to kind of like movies and shows to kind of like inspire me.
That really happens. Like, whenever anyone asks you something about yourself, or like it's something as simple as like my sisters and I have two sisters, and we'll always ask, "Oh, what do you want for Christmas?" I don't know. Like, I literally do not know what I want. But when I'm like scrolling on Amazon at
That's the
3
thing. I started
not
anytime
sleeping.
I think like, oh, I want this, but it's too expensive. I write it down on a list.
Mm-hmm.
So then when my mom was like, "What do you want for Christmas?" I'm like, "I got you."
I gotta start keeping like my favorite movies and books and everything like on hand. Like,
Yeah.
what if I come into an icebreaker and I don't know anything about myself? I could just pull it out, be like, "All right, here's some fun facts."
It was like a shitty character in Stranger Things. I'm trying to think, because would anyone there voted Trump? Mike's dad.
I'll take your word.
Like, I don't know. He just strikes me as those people who would just see it and be like, yeah, that's fine. He seemed like a very unobservant type dude. Even though he was just a very small side character. Also trying not to make media references that are, like, super outdated. Because, like, a lot of the shows that I'm really into are, like... Oh, go away. Getting alerts from my desktop. But a lot of the stuff I like is, like, no longer really talked about. So, like, The X-Files, Twin Peaks. Stuff that might not make sense to everyone. Oh my god, I should not be tired. I slept way too late this morning.
It's daylight savings. It throws messing with us.
Welcome back, seasonal depression.
Long time no see.
Long time no see. Meet pandemic depression and regular depression. Everything's great.
Well, I'd say those of you listening and watching, if you can think of a fictional character who would vote for Trump.
Yeah, let us know. Drop it in the comments, tweet it at us.
We're just curious. We want to know.
Yeah. And especially if you have, like, evidence. I like to hear it. I like to see it. It's very interesting. Alright, do we wanna move on into possibly an unassigned question or two?
I'd say so.
Alright, sounds litty.
Uncharted territory.
Uncharted territory. I'm trying to look for a really good one. Let's do a food one. We haven't done one yet this episode.
God, I thought you never asked. Well, was ice a food?
Oh yeah, sort of, I guess. Oh well. What's the best way to heat up Pop Tarts? The microwave or the toaster?
Toaster.
Yeah, toaster, hands down. If you if you heat up your Pop Tarts in the microwave, that's just sad.
Like, why? Why would you do that?
Maybe you don't
I
have a toaster?
I don't have a microwave, but
You don't have a microwave?
No, my mom doesn't like them. She's anti-microwave.
I've never even heard of being anti-microwave.
Really?
Please just explain
Because
everything
of
about
like
this to
the
me.
microwaves, apparently it's not good for you.
Nothing is.
Listen, that's what I say, but then I get yelled at, so I stop saying things.
This is fascinating. I didn't even know that was a
Yeah.
thing you could be.
Mm-hmm. She's anti-microwave. Wow. But little does she know, like, I've worked in the food business quite a long time, and they microwave so much food.
There's
Like,
a lot of stuff
you're
that's
not
microwaved.
avoiding it. You are, even when you think they're not microwaving your food, they are in some way.
Yep. Yeah, that was my thing that was the thing I kind of learned when I worked in a restaurant. I was like, no restaurant. Like, you like to believe that, like fresh your food? Specific dish is made from scratch every single time. But it's just not feasible.
It's not there. It's in the freezer right now.
Yeah. They just are better at reheating things than the average person in their home. Wow, oh my god.
But going back to the Pop Tart, like, why wouldn't you want it in the toaster unless you're that impatient? It doesn't even take that much longer. So.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm fully in the camp of toaster here, and I honestly don't, unless you, like, don't have a toaster, I don't know why you would heat your Pop-Tarts up with a microwave.
Speaking of toaster, what's better? Regular style toaster or, like, toaster?
I like a toaster oven, just because there's a lot you can do with that. Like, we have, like, a really nice, like, toaster oven with a bunch of, like, different settings. So, like, if my dad's just making, like lunch for one person, instead of, like, you know, turning on, like, the actual oven to heat up, like, a handful of, like, frozen tater tots, you just put them in the little toaster oven, like, on some foil.
Instead on bake.
Yeah. And also, it's good for heating up leftovers and having them not actually be gross. Because I used to have, like, I used to be very anti-leftovers. So I was like, oh, it always just, like, tastes really sad. But it's because I was usually putting everything in the microwave. But then my mom was like, no. If you're, like, heating up, like, you know, some kind of, like a sandwich melt that you got leftovers of, you wrap it loosely in foil, and then you put it in the toaster oven for, like, 10 minutes on, like, 350 or whatever. And it's pretty close to the same.
Sometimes I would go as far to say leftovers sometimes taste better than the original.
No, I'm never in that camp.
Really?
Absolutely
like pizza
never.
Leftovers? Like, better.
Cold pizza's disgusting.
What? I love cold pizza.
Gross.
All right, then.
And it might be because tomatoes are one of my for the most part, tomatoes are one of my hardline no foods. And, like, the only times I find them acceptable are as an ingredient where their flavor is not overpowering. And there's something about when pizza gets cold, I find that I am able to taste the sauce a lot more, to the point where the tomato flavor is overpowering to me and I don't like it.
Do you not like pasta? Like sauce?
Red sauce, no, not really, because that's very overpowering tomato flavor. Vodka sauce, if it's being served, I will eat it. It is not my favorite. I am very partial to a good Alfredo.
Oh, see, I don't like Alfredo that much.
Interesting. And like I have tried to get myself on the tomato train. Like, when, like, I would go to a friend's house and they would be, like, serving spaghetti for dinner or whatever, and, like, you know, everyone in their family liked tomato sauce, and they, like, just, like, forgot to ask or whatever, or, like, didn't think to, and they would just sauce it all. Like, I would never say anything. I'd eat it. I wouldn't, like, again, I've tried to get myself to like it. I've tried to, like, eat it until I like it. I really just don't think it's gonna happen. Like, I know your taste buds change, and there's lots of foods that I didn't like as a kid that I like now. I really don't think this one is ever coming for me.
Yeah, I feel like you can only do that with certain foods as well, like just keeping it until you like it, or until it's all right. But
yeah, I really don't think I'm ever gonna, like, enjoy the taste of tomatoes.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you. It is appreciated.
It is a loss.
Again, it works. I'm okay with it as an ingredient where it's not, I don't like it as the flavor base for something. Like, if the whole point of this is to taste very strongly of tomatoes, no thank you.
Interesting.
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
But yeah, oh, the toaster. See, I also have a toaster oven. So, and I do think like there's more you can do with it, more options. I like to have my options open. So we're gonna go with that. But I loved how a regular toaster, and when I was younger, I found this fascinating, like how it just pop up. Like, it was so fun. And I was deprived of that in my childhood.
There is something very aesthetic about like the pop-up toasters.
Yeah.
Like especially ones that look like, that have that whole like kind of like chrome 50s aesthetic type going on. That I do find very aesthetically pleasing.
In college, well, I actually have it still. I finally owner of a pop-up toaster.
Oh, we had several illegal toasters when we lived in the dorm.
I didn't have it in my dorm. I had it once I moved. Wait, why can't you have a toaster?
Oh, I don't know.
We can't have anything.
Yeah, I know. I knew that was the fun part about living with an RA. We had an illegal toaster, illegal microwave, because she was the one doing room inspections. She just read it all off.
I mean, I knew about the microwaves. Like, yeah, you have to have the micro fridge, nothing else.
Oh, we didn't. Yeah, no. We had none of that going on.
Wow. I imagine, like, walking into your room and just finding, like, 50 toasters just because you can.
Oh, we had tapestries, toaster, illegal microwave. We would burn candles. I think also every single one of us had a mini fridge in our room, which was great. That was a great that was a junior year. That was ideal. My living situation. It was a great time. But yeah, no, I do love a good pop-up toaster.
Me too.
Although, again, toaster oven.
Superior.
There's a ton you can do with that, which I very much appreciate. Alright, let's see what we
So yeah, Pop Tarts.
Pop Tarts. If you microwave them and you have a choice in that matter, seek help.
Like, why?
Seek help.
Why?
Is all I have to say to you.
Oh, speaking of Pop Tarts or toaster strudels?
I've never had a toaster strudel in my life.
I have, and Pop Tarts take the win. So, they'll just have to trust me on that one.
What flavor of Pop Tarts do you like?
The chocolatey ones. Why? What do you like?
The cinnamon ones.
Oh, okay. Those are actually good,
I like
too.
the cinnamon ones and the strawberry and the blueberry.
The fruit ones, I mean, they're okay, but I really like the chocolate ones.
Like oh my god, if anyone who likes like s'mores Pop-Tarts,
that's
gross.
I don't like marshmallows, so
absolutely gross. Or like Pop-Tarts that are flavored like birthday cake or something. I'm like, that's not.
Those are more dessert.
Yeah, I'm like, this isn't breakfast.
I also think Pop-Tarts in general are more dessert, just because I never had them in my house, and I don't normally eat sweeter things for breakfast, but like I'd say the fruit or cinnamon, like, yeah, that can be a breakfast.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, because those are like things I feel like are kind of breakfasty anyway, because you have like, you know, other kind of like breakfast pastries that are like carbs,
like
with
a Danish, or like,
with like a fruit filling, or like, you know, cinnamon buns and stuff like that. Like, those are breakfasty. Any of that like birthday cake, s'mores type shit, no. That's dessert. That's dessert that you're passing off as breakfast. But yeah, no, my favorite Pop-Tarts are the cinnamon ones, because I feel like those are one of the most breakfasty.
Those are good.
I'm attempting not to eat carbs for a little while, just for health reasons. Oh, and it makes me so sad. So many good things have carbs in them.
Pasta.
God, I love pasta. I love pasta. Again, just any form of carb makes me so happy.
Oh
Happy
well. Place.
2 weeks. 2 weeks, and then I can enjoy some pasta again.
Yay.
But I think we're coming up on about an hour now. So do we want to say we're good for the night?
I'd say so. It's been one roller coaster of a night.
It has been one roller coaster of an evening. I hope everyone's doing good. I hope the United States is not in flames by the time you are watching / listening to this. Hope things are looking better. And stream the podcast on Spotify, Anchor, Overcast, a bunch of other platforms. Follow us on Twitter at BridgetKelly98 and at MR5MAR. And we will be back next week, and hopefully things will feel a little less chaotic.
Who knows?
Stay safe out there, everyone.
The Civil War is coming, but...
Union gang forever. All right, bye.
Bye.